Not everything was coming out well. No, the audio wasn't even coming out. There we go. Yes. Now we have it. Now we have audio. Amazing. Okay. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for joining me. Here we are now. This works. I forgot to turn on the phantom power for this microphone. That is something that happens when you turn it off and then forget to turn it on. What a thing, right? Yeah, we have another beanie tonight just in front of you, right? Because I thought you're just gonna get very bored of seeing same beanie and same bald head every time. So when it's coldish, and I sometimes just wear this beanie and I'm okay, and I just don't feel the cold. And yeah, so here we are. Okay, so tonight I have a very special thing. We're going to start creating our tower defense game. It's going to be very, very, very fun. I think we're going to start tonight with the minions, with the enemies, right? We want to have these waypoints where we follow a certain line, right? We want to get to a certain place, and then from there go to another place, right? We're just going to use that kind of so I think that kind of logic there. We want we want something simple, not something very complicated, something we can use in any map, in any sort of map, right? We're gonna have this logic based on, say, if we have a map that we create in Blender or something, and we bring it into Rogue Engine, and then we want to add this waypoints, then we can adapt it. I think that's the way to go with this. Obviously, I think the biggest issue we're going to have here, that it's not something we're going to do tonight, but it's something that we will have to figure out later, is like the range of the towers, like how much of the range they have, showing this range for users, and developing and creating the maps according to those ranges, right? Making sure that ranges make sense in the maps, right? That's very important. That's crucial in a tower defense game. The speed of the minions and all that as well with the towers. But tonight we're going to focus on the waypoints and the minions following these waypoints, right? This is what we want: enemies following a waypoint and getting to the end. Now, I don't know what will be the goal here. Are the enemies going to be hitting something at the end, or are they just going to be escaping, right? For now, we're just going to say if they cross a certain threshold, a certain goal line, we lose a point, right? We lose a life point, something like that. Like I think something like Throne Rush, something like that, right? By the way, it's an Uruguayan game. It's an Uruguayan game, by the way. The Uruguayan company. That's something. I think any Uruguayan in tech knows. But interesting fact there. So it's an interesting. I just thought it was interesting that I just thought of doing a tower defense. It's nothing to do with that, but I just thought of that. Right? Interesting. Okay, so anyone there? It's anyone there? If you're there, just let me know that you're here, because this is going to be recorded and people are going to see it later. But if you're here, if you want to say hello. You can say hello in chat. Let me know what you think of what we're going to be building. Let me know what you think about what we're going to be doing. I'm just really glad you're there. Thank you very much for joining me. And we're just going to be building this tonight. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna start creating the project. Okay, I will not share the screen while I create the project and all that, so that OBS doesn't say no. But yeah, we'll start with that. We'll begin with this. So yeah, we'll start creating the little project here. We'll call it tower defense. Yeah, we'll call it tower defense. Yes, I will create an empty project. I've been debating myself whether to use physics or not. Honestly, oh, hello, Simeone. How are you doing? How's it going, mate? I've been debating myself whether to use physics or not. I've been very much debating myself with this because I don't know if we're gonna actually need them for something other than, I don't know, some kind of very specific sort of collision, some kind of detection of some kind. But really, there's not much point, honestly. Like the one thing I can think of that where physics in this case would be useful is for something like yeah, but not even that. I was thinking of the range of the towers, right? If you have like the range of the towers, it's like a sensor collider, and we get everything that has to enter the collider, and that's how we get, okay, the closest one that has to enter the collider, and we start shooting that. That could be a good use case in order not to be measuring distance with absolutely everything. Yeah, that could be a good use, actually. That could be a good use for it, actually, yes. Like having a big sphere that is the actual sensor. But I don't know, honestly. I don't know, because I don't want to depend on a physical engine for most things, like movement and all that. So it's maybe just making the characters be like just simple kinematic characters, kind of kinematic minions. Or yeah, or maybe just having them be simple bodies, like fixed bodies that we move, forcefully move. That's another way to handle this, I think. But yeah, okay. Simeon says, shouldn't you be in the test chamber half an hour ago? It's a joke from Half-Life. I don't remember, mate. But we're doing great, and we can hear you loud and clear. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Glad to have you there. Yeah, I played Half-Life so long ago that I don't remember anything. That's one thing I can play it again. I won't remember a thing. I'll be able to enjoy it like it's the first time. So that's great, right? That's a good thing. That's a good thing. All right. So yeah, let's begin with this thing. I'll probably just install Rapier here before we even begin. Yeah, I'll probably just install Rapier. I'll bring you with me. Okay. Here. I think it's one. I think it's Alt 1. I have to remember the little shortcuts that I created. I may start remembering them soon. Hello, Nige. How's it going? You found the door tonight. Good. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. All right. Here we go. I'm moving myself to a place where, we don't have much trouble. I don't know. I don't want to be a nuisance here, but yeah. I don't want to be out of the loop. So yeah, I'm probably just going to move myself a bit here. Yeah, there. Yeah, there. I'm just going to move this thing a bit more here. Yeah. Yes. That's going to be it. That's going to have to work. Fantastic. Thank you, Nige. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being there. All right, yes, let's play with this now, okay? So we're just going to install Rogue Rapier here. We're just going to install this. It's going to take a bit of time because, if it's a cold start, nobody's been installing for a while. It's going to take a time to download everything and go and get every process that it needs to do all the checks, and then downloads it, starts creating the thing there. And yeah, there we go. So okay, we for everyone, for anyone who has arrived just now, we're creating a tower defense. We will be defeating minions along a pathway. We are going to be creating tonight. We're going to be focusing on the little waypoints where our minions will be facing and walking towards. Things that we can integrate on any sort of map, any sort of any sort of map actually. The idea is that we can later on focus on everything else if we have the minions, right? Because if we have the towers, right, and we don't have the minions, we don't have like the aiming system or anything, it's not going to make any sense. So having the minions will help us. Okay, we'll start creating the towers then. I think it's the right order, right? What's this doing? Okay, it's taking a while. Why is it taking so long? It shouldn't be taking so long. It should be like just a second. It's never taking that long. So is there a problem here? Do we have a problem, officer? Officer. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. This is all the thumbnails there of the something that. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's all good. There's just some errors of the thumbnails here. Thumbnails that it didn't find, and it just replaces them with this. Okay. There we go. There we go. So we have the rapier package here. And what are we going to be doing? Let's see. Before we start, let me see first. I just want to check. I just want to check the our monitors here to make sure it's all good. All good? Yes, all good here. Okay, because this is the last time I'll be able to look at the chat for a while. So if you want to say hello, if you want to say anything, just say it now. Because now I'm going to be looking at the screen there. I don't have a second screen here to look at the chat at the minute. So I'm going to be swapping from project to chat in that way. All right. So okay, let's go. Let's come back here. All right. I think it's all good. Just you know, let me know if you need anything. Okay, so we're gonna delete this box. Yeah, we don't need it. And what else are we going to do? We're going to we probably don't need these either, right? We don't need the skybox, so we're gonna disable it. Yeah, why even have a skybox if we don't need one, right? And what else are we going to do? And we're going to we'll start creating. Perhaps we should create a little pathway, right? We should create that, like this little pathway we can start working on, right? What do you think? Little pathway we can work on. Okay, so we'll just do it very simply. We're not even going to make any sort of fancy thing here. Okay, it's just going to be very, very, very stupid. Okay, it's just going to be 0.5 there, minus 0.5 there, and it's just going to make it, how long? We're just going to make it 100, something like that. All right. Okay, yeah, we made it 100 on the wrong side, didn't we? Yeah, it has to be 1, doesn't it? Okay. So it's just 100, 100. All right. So there we go. I think that's good, right? I think that's good. It's a good enough size. I think might be, might not be. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. What we need is a little pathway. So all we're going to do is add a few more boxes. In fact, first, before anything else, we're going to create a little group. We're going to create a little group here. We're going to call this environment. I like doing this every single time, because just having everything just spread apart here, it's a mess, you know. So just add everything to a group. It's easier to handle, you know. It's easier to manage. You just move it around. Oh, look at that. And if you had 1,000 things in there, you know, just manage them around in a group. Much easier, you know. This is going to be our floor. Okay. And what else do we need? What else do we need? No. We're gonna add another box here. And so our floor our floor, we're gonna give our floor a little texture there, like a little, like a, I don't know, like a little brownish texture there, perhaps something. I don't know. I know that's the other box. I've touched the other box. Silly me. All right, okay, there. Yeah. Like a brownish tone there. Brownish tone. There we go. Something there. Something along those lines. We're going to grab this one here. We're going to give it a, I don't know, some kind of a greenish tone. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know the theme that we're going to be doing. Okay. It's probably going to be something with guns. Okay. It's going to be something with bullets. Okay. Not something with arrows, perhaps, you know. I don't know. So we can have things like, I don't know, like a missile, like a following missile or something like that. I think it gives us more possibilities to have different things, right? Not just a wizard tower or something like that. I don't know. You let me know. You let me know what's best. You know, if we're still on time to create all kinds of things. So you let me know what you want to see. Okay. So what do we do here? Okay, so we're just going to have this thing be there. Yeah, about there. I think it's fine. So make it 0.3. Yeah, 0.3. Let's make it there. Wait, 0.2. 0.2. I like 0.2. I think 0.2 is too. It's good. Okay, and we're going to simply move it around like that. Yeah, we're just going to expand it a bit. You know, I'm being hacky here. We just need some stuff. You know, we just need some very simple stuff. We just want a like a pathway, right? A pathway we want to move around. Yeah, let's grab this and put him inside the environment there. Yeah, we just want a pathway to move around. Okay, so we'll just be creative. We'll just let creativity take us somewhere interesting. Okay, so we're gonna duplicate this. We're gonna come here. We're gonna make this about yay big. Something like that. We're gonna follow these little cubes there, these little boxes there. And then we'll adjust it later, okay? We'll adjust it later. But for now, it's going to be this, like this, okay? There we go. We're gonna make a curve downwards, and then upwards, and then straight, okay? Something like that. So we're gonna come here. Let's make this like this. Yeah. Might be thinking, wow, the science skills in this guy, right? I mean, just look at this guy. Can you design? Can you do? Wow. What? Designers everywhere. Just dying to have my design skills, right? I mean, just think about that for a second. You know, this guy can design, right? Great modeler, great 3D modeler. Look at that. Oh, these polygons. Looking sexy. Look at them. Wow. Sexy polygons. Okay. All right. There we go. We have sexy polygons. Oh my god. What nice polygons we have here. Yes. There it is. More or less there. No, not there. No, that's not nice. That's not. I don't like that. That's not how you do it. So this should be about there. Yeah, right. More or less. All right. Just believe me. It's more or less there. It's just, you'll just have to believe me. Okay. It's gonna be about there. Yeah. About there. About yeah height. Yeah. And this one's going to be about yeah. Okay. We just need something simple, right? We don't need much of a complicated thing. We don't need to complicate ourselves too much. We just need to create something that is usable and usable and nice, and that's all we care about. So yeah, that's all we're going to do. So I think perhaps we're not going to complicate ourselves too much. We're just going to end it here. Okay, just going to end it here. We're just going to do this. I'm just going to bring it up here. Okay, up here. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. 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 No, no. In your face, AI. In your face. People building stuff with AI when they can do this. No, no, no. It's incredible. Incredible. Really. I mean, wow. This is the detail. This is the detail. The attention to look at the attention to detail. Look at the attention to detail. There, there, there. Oh, no, no, incredible. No, attention to detail. That's what you call attention to detail. You know, when someone asks and says, "Yeah, that's attention to detail. That's attention to detail." All right. Okay. Do we have anyone else here? We don't have anyone. You have Simeon here saying, would be great idea to include height map input for fast terrain slope generation. Based on a subdivide plane, you just drag and drop. Plane can have a purpose property that can serve as a height map input for terrain extrusion, sort of. For another kind of game, sure. For a tower defense, I think you need to be very precise about what you're doing. You know, like very precise. And in this case, we're not going to have any sort of extrusion or anything like that. We're not going to have like a map that has highs and lows or anything like that. We're going to make something very simple, right? We want something that is usable and that people can understand what it does, right? Because the idea behind this now is just to create the functionality of the say of the minions walking around a path. That's all we really want. So we're just creating a path, and we just want to have a place where we can place the towers, right? A placing for the towers. So we're not gonna care too much about the terrain really right now. I think the terrain is we could play a bit more with that later, like have some kind of generator for the terrain. I think perhaps something more like I would go more for something like a modular based terrain, like having different modules, right? Different parts of a pathway, perhaps making them all these different pathways joining together, right? And creating the map procedurally. The simplest you go, the better, right? Instead of making the map, having all these things that procedurally generating a mesh. Instead of doing that, you just put together different meshes, right? So, for instance, you have this little block. Let's say we separate, say this is a rect, right? And now we join a curve here, right? So we have a box that is this curve that joins in front of it, right? And you have a selector. We have like a procedure generator script that simply gets all the pieces and puts together a map, right, in a certain theme. So you can have like all the little pieces of a certain theme, and it puts them together in a random way. And if you have everything well measured, like the different distances of the weapons and all that, because that's where it gets difficult. So if you add slopes and you start adding all these things, then suddenly the weapons, you don't know where are they going to shoot really, your game becomes a bit more complicated. So I'm sure it can be done, obviously, right? And I think it could be a lot of fun. But for a game that is, we're just trying to create a simple tower defense like this, I don't think we need more than just a few maybe modules or something like that. That would be an interesting thing to think about, to explore for like further ahead. And for asphalt or an off-road, can we use spline nerve so that imported profile can follow the path and shade our road? I mean, Yeah, you could, but you could just bring it previously textured from Blender, right? I think if you already have the map in Blender, I think in most cases, this is like more of a game engine than a design tool, right? So if you're working with a designer, like if you're a designer, you're designing something on Blender, right? And you design a certain module, right? The less that you make something else depend on, whatever you bring from Blender, the more loyal it is to whatever you have as a design. I think it's going to be better for this sort of game, right? I mean, if you want to make something way more complex, of course, right, you can do whatever you want. Obviously, we have so many options there, of course, right? But you're already making it. You would be already making it very complicated for you, right? So, I think making a game is already so complicated, so complex as a craft, that making it easier for yourself at every step of the way. Just make a fun thing, make a fun mechanic first. Focus on making a fun mechanic, and then you can start making everything else. Like, just make a fun mechanic, and then focus on and if you have nice art, nice things like that. If you can create great art, right? You can bring to life a very simple mechanic and make it look nice. That's just magical. That's when you hit the spot, right? And you like a game because it looks nice and it feels nice to play, right? And it's fun because the mechanic is fun and it's nice to look at, right? We like to look at nice things. That's the thing in our brains, it's just, for some reason it's strange. It's strange, right? Isn't it strange that we like to look at nice things? Right. So here we go. Let's pull this thing a bit upwards. I don't like it being so much up and down there. Like, yeah, I think, yeah, there it is. There is where it should be. Yeah. Okay. I think we have it there. I think we have it there. All right. Let's just use this as our environment. This will be our environment. We're going to come here into assets. We're just going to save this scene because we don't want to miss this beautiful scene that we've just created. This is a masterpiece. I'm going to call this the main scene. Wow, the main. This is Picasso. On your face, Picasso. On your face. Okay, let's look at. I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna look at my monitor to make sure if everything's doing well and everything's all right. Yes, everything's doing good here. Monitor is doing fine. Okay. Here we go then. Okay, if you're there, hit the like button, please. Hit the like button, follow, please. Help me out with a little like there, all right? Thank you very much. Help me out with a like there so that people find out about this video. It really helps. It really helps. All right, let's get back to our little game here, our little thing here. All right. It's number one. Okay, yeah, it's Alt 1. I have to remember. I have Alt 1 for this, and then Alt 2 for the camera. So they can come back and forth like that. I have to remember how to do that. Okay, so yes, we're going to focus on simple. All right, everything else, all the complicated things, all the very complex, all those stuff, we're going to leave them for later. Okay, for now, what we want is how can we have minions walking a pathway and reaching a goal so that we can lose points, life points, and and losing, dying eventually, right? Or winning the game if we don't lose any life points after all the waves, right? So that's something I will need to define for our game logic, right? We need we're gonna have waves. Right, we're gonna have waves. One thing we need. We're gonna have an amount of minions for each wave. Right, we have waves of minions, and then we have the amount of minions for each wave. Right, perhaps a certain amount of points of minions. Right, each minion assigned a point, and we say, okay, we're gonna have perhaps 10 common, 2 special, 3 epic, or something like that. Right. coming in through, right? And then we create this sort of point system there. With this point system, we decide how many minions we bring in, right? And something like that. And that's I think that's one of the most difficult things, right? Because that's actually making the game fun, challenging and fun, right? And that's the challenge of the game: is can you beat these many waves, and can you make your towers better every time until you kill all the waves of enemies. I think that's a big challenge in a game like this, and it's what makes it fun, right? Eventually. So that's what we're going to be focusing later. But knowing these things that we need, right? Understanding the problem is the first step. So we need there we know, right, that we need the minions, right? We need an amount of minions for each wave. We need the pathway, right? We need the pathway for these minions. What's the pathway they are going to be following, and where are they going to be moving towards? And so that's another thing, right? Minions are going to be initially simply following a line, right? It's just going to be one after the other, right? It's going to be going one in front of each other, right? But yeah, we're gonna see. We can play later on with different mechanics there. But the idea behind this is that we can have minions moving in any map that we create, right? In any 2D map that we create, say, right? A map that is simply 2-dimensional. Okay, that's very simple. But it will work. It will also work in a more in a 3D sort of map, right? If you want to have slopes and all that. But imagine if we want to play this on a phone, that's going to make it a bit more difficult. So let's focus on the simple mechanic first. How are we doing there? All right, if you're just here now, say hello in the chat there. Say hello. Leave a like, please. Leave a like and a follow there, or subscribe and all that, please. So to help me out, thank you very much. And okay, let's keep going here. Okay, let's keep moving. All right, so we're going to need our different waypoints. Okay, our waypoint is simply going to be an object. Okay, it's simply going to be an object we're going to be placing somewhere. Okay, it's going to be an object here, and in this case, it's not going to be a waypoint in itself, perhaps, or perhaps yes, right? Yeah. So we can simply make it a waypoint. The first one, we have to bring the enemies from before the map starts, right? From before the map. Yeah, we don't want them to appear just boom, appear here, right? We want to appear before the camera can see them, and then see them walk forward. Okay. I think that's the way to approach this. And we're just not going to let the camera go beyond this side, perhaps. Something like that. I think that would be okay. And yeah, and we're just going to let the minions come through here. Okay, and then we create this, we'll call this waypoint. Okay. And here we need another waypoint. We're going to have another waypoint that's going to come through to here. Okay. So we know that we're moving from this one to this one. All right. And now we have another waypoint here. Okay. That's going to be from here to here. Okay. As you can see, I haven't rotated the waypoint because the enemy is going to face the waypoint themselves, right? So it's going to be facing the waypoint. It's going to rotate towards the waypoint and move to this place here. Okay. And then from here, we're going to move all the way to here. And when we cross the line there, when we're away, when they reach this last waypoint, we will have lost. Oh, sorry about that. We will have lost. Yeah, that's okay. I think that's okay. We will have lost a life. We will have lost a life point. Okay, is that we do we have do we understand what we're doing here, right? So I think we have a good mechanic here, okay? So again, if you're there, if you're in the chat, leave me a chat there. Let me know how it's going. If you have any doubts or something. All right. So let's go. Okay, so first waypoint, second waypoint there in the curve. Now we're facing the next one here, right? And now after we face the next one. Okay, so every curve we face the next curve, right? And then we face the next one. So it's a way to sort of tell the minion where to look at, right? So let them know where they have to face next. Okay. So we're gonna need a list of waypoints, and now that's the reasoning we have to go through now. Who's gonna manage the waypoints? Are the waypoints going to be something that each one of these individual minions are going to be handling? They're going to be taking in and saying, okay, what are the waypoints and should I follow them? And just having a list of them, like a reference of them from somewhere, from a source of truth, right? From some sort of state that we hold somewhere. And do we move through these in order, right? Because we need to move through these in order. So we need to tell the game what the order of the waypoints is. We need to tell the game how to we need to tell the minion which waypoint comes next, right? We need to tell the minion to spawn in a certain waypoint, right? This is important. This is very important because the moment we spawn the minion, they'll say, okay, I started in this waypoint. Now I need to get the next waypoint, and then I need to face that waypoint, and I go to that waypoint. And this is the only mechanic we're going to have. What's the next waypoint? Okay, what's the next waypoint? And once we cross a certain line, right? It's a point accredited to the machine, to the PC. I don't know how to say it. I'm sorry. Just tell me if you know the vocabulary for this, because I don't know the vocabulary for this. So okay, let's go. All right. So we need two things then. We're going to need a game logic. Okay, game logic component. And we're going to need we're going to create a, but now we're going to create a minion component. Okay, it's going to represent our little minions there. I am not 100% sure yet of how we should do this, because we need to tell, imagine this, each scene will be a map, right? And each one of these maps, we need to hold what kind of minions are going to be coming here, right? What kind of waves the minions are going to be coming here. And we could have each minion script handle a specific minion, or we could have the game logic script have a minion handling function and do everything, right? Because if it's simple enough, we can have everything in one place, right? So that's a good thing, right? That could be an interesting one if we don't need much from each minion. But there is the case that if we need to, when we think about, we need to collide with something, right? We need to say, okay, the minion is coming here and colliding there, and then we're crediting the point when the minion collides with this thing. Then we need a listener for each one of the minions, right? We need a listener to know, okay, we either need a listener for each one of the minions, or we need a listener for the goal line, right? And when we cross the goal line, we know that, okay, this minion has crossed the goal line, it's okay. Or we could simply use, instead of a collision, we could simply use a distance, right? A distance. Since we're moving towards a waypoint, if we have reached the waypoint, we know we have scored, right? So we don't really need a collision there. That's good. That's good. So we don't really need a collision at the end. Brilliant. And yeah, so we could just move until the last waypoint. Brilliant. We may only need a game logic then. We may only need a game logic, which is, I think it's brilliant. If we can only use a game logic, that would be great. So let's just add it. We didn't even need to add it like that. We just drag and drop it here. That works fine too. Okay, so I'm gonna, yeah, again, in order not to disrupt everything here, I'm just gonna open Visual Studio here and VS Code, sorry, and I'm going to open this project here, and then I'm going to show you the screen again. All right, let's come here. Okay, and let's bring our little project, tower defense project there, in here. There we go. There we go. All right. Oh, Nige says, I think with the online tutorial, separate scripts would be easier to read. Yeah. Depends. It depends, because there's the easier to read, there's easier to manage, and then there's best solution, most optimal solution. Having a bunch of scripts that don't really add much to the equation, right? Having a bunch of scripts that are simply every time, you know, going through each one of them and saying, okay, update this, you know, instead of just iterating each one of the minions. It's not necessarily much worse. It's not computationally wise. It is bad, but not terrible. So we could argue that it's okay. We could have a minion handle its own destiny in a way, right? Its own pathway, whatever it does, right? Whatever happens to it. But also keep this in mind. We need a way for the minion to communicate with the game logic to say, okay, I have scored, right? So take a life, you know, since that is like the only real mechanic that they do, for now, that could be the case. But perhaps it could be the case that we need more. For instance, okay, I could think of a case where we may want to have a minion controller. For instance, yeah, have you ever played Kingdom Rush or one of those, like Kingdom Rush, Throne Rush? I think that's the name of the game. And what they do, they have these soldiers there, right, that you can fight. And so the minions, they don't just walk, they also fight other enemies. So at that moment, your waypoint changes. At that moment, your weapon changes, and now you also have an attack animation. And that changes things. That changes things because now you need a proper controller for the minion. So in that case, you do need a minion controller. So it is not just more readable, right? In that case, it would be more readable. You would be sacrificing a bit of managing of it, right? Because it's not just one script handling these things, that it won't be handling that much, because it would be simply moving the minion to the next waypoint and scoring if you reach the last, right? That would be the game logic. And on the other hand, the minion itself, having the control, right, would allow you to do more things with the minion. So it's a more flexible, it's a more robust solution. It allows you to expand more on what you can do, on the features of a minion, right? You can absolutely do that in a game logic script, but that's when it becomes unreadable, right? Because you don't just have a walk, you now also have an attack, you know, face the enemy, do all that, attack animation and all that. Now you also need an animator for each minion now, right? Because you need the animations for each one, because you also want to have specific minions that have different animations, that have different attacks, that do different things. Perhaps you have one that, you know, that attacks from, you know, that has a sword and it just attacks melee, and then another one that attacks, you know, from behind, you know, it's some part of a magician, or has a gun or something like that. I don't know. So surely we're gonna have melee minions and we're gonna have distance attack minions, right? If that's the case, if this is the sort of dynamics that we're gonna have, where we have enemies, where we have in place fighting, right? If we're gonna have them fighting, so RTS style, right? Yeah, it's like a most popular tower defense games out there, right? So yeah, that's a good point, Nige. That's a fantastic point there. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, kudos for that. It's a very good point. Let's look at the monitor here. Let's see how we're doing here. How we doing here? I think, yeah, we have a few people here. If you're here, please, if you're in either on Twitch or on YouTube, say hello. I see that we have a few people when nobody chats other than Nige and Simeon. So say hello, chat with me. Say, tell me where you are. Tell me where you are. What country you're in right now. What continent, at least, right? That would be cool. That would be great. Fantastic. And leave me a like, please. Leave me a like there. Help me out. Help me beat this algorithm that doesn't like me much. All right. So, okay, right. I'll show you now. I'll show you the screen now. I'll show you the screen. Let's go. Okay. Oh. That's what happens when you press the wrong button there. Okay. All right. There we go. So we have the game logic. The game logic component. We have a minion here, and we have our game logic. So what do we want to do with this? All right. So the first thing we need, I think it's important to define who knows about the waypoints first, right? I think that's the most important thing we need to define before anything else, because either if it's the game logic that knows about the waypoints, or it's the minions, right? If every minion knows about the waypoints, every minion will need to hold the waypoints. So that's a waste of memory in a way, right? But the game logic will need to know about. We need to set. Yeah, we'll need to set the waypoint somewhere. So it's logic. So logically, the game logic should have the waypoints, and the minions should go look for the waypoints in the game logic. That's what makes more sense. And then each minion will know what's the next waypoint, right? Their own next waypoint. Like have one assigned. Okay, this is my next waypoint, because they will only be moving forward, right? They will not be moving. Okay, I'm in this waypoint and now look for which one is closer or something like that. No, you have a next waypoint, so you know where to move next. So even if you're fighting on the side of a road with some knight or something, you know that you will be moving towards the next waypoint. So after you fight the knight, if you win, of course, right? So yeah, let's have another mate, because my mouth is going out dry. So let's have another mate. This will be cold because I haven't had one like I don't know how long. So this will be cold shit. Have another one. Yes. Okay. Watching you from Norway, says Simeone. The hour is 10:30. All right. So you're an hour. An hour ahead of us here in the UK. Of course. Brilliant. All right. Yeah, anyone else there? Tell me where you're from, where are you watching from, what time is it where you are? If you're enjoying our chat so far, I think this is nice. We can also, it's not the same as a tutorial, right? Where I just tell you, okay, this is what where I resolved I was gonna do, and that's it. You know, this is me having my actual thoughts right now because I haven't thought this through. Honestly, I thought I'm gonna make this game. I'm gonna make this Tower Defense. I'm just gonna think it here with you. I'm just gonna make the decisions here with you. Okay, I haven't. I purposefully didn't even sat down and thought, okay, this is how I'm gonna build. No, I didn't have my own personal architecture sit down with myself. No, I didn't have it. I decided I was just going to come here and do it with you, right? UK there, just like me there, Nige. Yeah, that's I think that's fun. I think that's nice. I don't know. I think that brings an interesting I know, yeah, this interesting dynamic, right? You can just see me going through it, suffering through it, and trying to do it, coping with my situation. And as you can see, we have thought a lot more than we have coded, because we actually have not coded. We haven't written a single line of code, but we know a lot about the code we have to write now, right? We know about the code that we need to write because we've been thinking about it. We have some kind of solution in our heads. So now it's a lot easier to kind of handle it. We know that we want to keep to the mechanics and do something simple and do something that is nice and do something that is, that doesn't take too much of the brain power out of the important parts that will be the fun. Right? The fun will be to make this thing challenging and actually interesting, right? Because you're having an upgrade tower and minion walks, doesn't make much sense. Shoot minion, upgrade tower, walk minion, but then you need to place towers. That's what makes it interesting, right? You need to know which towers to upgrade. Have enough money to how do you upgrade the towers with the currency to update the towers at some points. Is it that's I think that's what makes it interesting, that kind of dynamic. Having that discussion, that conversation, I think was what gives the value to the code that we're going to be writing, because we're not just going to be writing code, we're going to add thought to it. We can actually be very thoughtful about what we write. We're going to make something nice, interesting, that is built here. The thoughts of it are being made here right now, right? It's an interesting thing. Oh, Nice says, I'm just about 130 mile-ish to the east of you. I have no idea. I have no sense of miles. I have no sense of, you tell me a mile, right? It's there, and I'm like, I don't know, it could be the moon, somewhere around there, yeah. Or it could be just close, around here, around the corner. Very, very difficult for me to think in miles, right? I'm thinking it must be something like, I don't remember the calculation. It's something like 160 kilometers or something like that. 200, something like that. 160, 190 or something like that. I don't know. Somewhere around there. The northeast coast, right? The Newcastle and all there, right? I don't know if you told me if you were in Newcastle or something like that before in the Discord and all that. Okay, let's start here. Let's begin with this. We'll start adding the RE, the props, that game object. No, sorry, object 3D. I was thinking in unities, and I read the game logic there and was tricked by my own brain. We're going to say this waypoints. This is the waypoints. All right. And this is going to be, this is important if you're using TypeScript, like myself, Okay. Something we're going to do here is import add all as Three.js from Three.js, right? From 3. Yeah, 3 from 3. We're going to say 3 object 3D. Okay, there we go. Right. Well, this needs to be an array, of course, right? So there we go. Here we go. We have set this to what it needs to be. We're going to set the order here. We're going to set them in the right order. And you know what? We want to make this very, very simple. So simple to do that we're not going to need this thing here. Says, well, Simeone says miles away, Madonna. And then Night says the northeast coast. The northeast coast. Yeah, but yeah, that's about the isn't Newcastle about the northeast coast? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm totally lost there, mate. I remember having seen all of the having learned like when I just arrived to the UK. I just sat and got a map and decided I'm just gonna look at all of the places in the UK. Just gonna try and name them by memory, and more or less I have an idea of where things I placed. Don't remember them all anymore, but for the first 3 months that I was here in the UK before the pandemic, I knew the different counties and cities, important cities, and everywhere I could locate them easily in the map. I like doing that everywhere I go. I know I'm weird and crazy, but that's okay. You can be weird and crazy, and it's okay. You be your own weird, your own crazy, and that's fine, mate. We're gonna create a static waypoint. Yes, and we're gonna make them the same as this. All right, it's going to be exactly the same. Why are we doing this? Why would we be doing this? Just to make it easier. You would be thinking, why are we doing this? Yes, because we want to handle it like this. GameLogic.waypoints. Well, I'm thinking now. I didn't want to have an instance of it there. But what if... Yeah. No. Let's have it. Let's have each minion. Okay, so hear me out. Okay, hear me out. We're gonna have each minion have game logic. Can you import it for me, please? Please import it for me. Import game logic for me, please. There. Thank you. I am very lazy like that. I don't want to write the import. I want to write it for me. Right? Is it? I'm gonna require it. No. Well, I'm not gonna require it from an ancestor. I am going to. Well, should I require it from an ancestor like that? What should I do? Because I could say that I want it from the scene, right? And say game logic like that, right? That's another way to do this, right? That's another way of doing this. Each minion has the game logic like that. So you could have it requiring it from the ancestor, which is the scene, right? But I think this is a less ideal solution, considering that it needs to do work. Okay, so in my perspective, the best way to do this, in order not to do the other work, right, since we can have a reference to the array, and the array is a reference, we're not going to be maintaining a specific array. We're just going to keep a reference. And here's what we're doing here, right? This is just going to be what we set, okay? This is what we set. And then in the start here, or in the awake, let's do it in the awake so we know we're defining it from the very, very beginning. And we're saying, okay, so game logic, the waypoints equals this waypoints. Okay, so it's a reference. And it's not just a reference. It's the one we'll be using for everything, right? So this is just I'd say we'll use it as our input for the waypoints, and this will be what we're going to be using in general, a source of truth for the waypoints. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you very much. Okay. That's our source of truth for the waypoints. So everywhere we use waypoints, right? We know that if we can even say, we're going to get fancy here. We're going to say get waypoints. Follow me here. You follow me here. We're going to return game logic waypoints. Gonna get fancy there. Okay. So now we can say these waypoints, and we have them there. Okay. We can't set them like that, but we can use them like that, and it's easier to handle, right? That's cool, right? That's cool stuff, right? That's okay. It's not magic, but it's good, right? Nige says, I'm a bit south of Newcastle County, Durham. Very nice, very nice. Durham. I think of it in Spanish words. I'm sorry. I think of it in Spanish words. Okay, so what else do we need to do here? Okay, so we have the waypoints. Help me out here. We have the waypoints. Now we need to know which minions we have, right? Or do we need the minions? Do we need to know which minions we have? We need to know that we have a certain amount of, let's call it num. Let's call it HP. We could call it anything, but we're going to call it HP, and we're going to say 20. And we're going to have a current HP, right? Current HP like that. Okay, it's going to be 20. Okay, here, right? That way we can set it from there, from the input, right? And it's easier, right? We're just going to come here and say that. In fact, we could just do this, right? It's a lot easier. Just do this, okay? I don't know. Yeah, I think that works well. But yeah, we just come here and say every time it starts, right? We say this core HP equals this dot HP, right? So we set the HP to whatever we've set, right? The current HP is what we've set as the total HP, right? There's a total HP and there's a current HP. We can set it in the inspector there, right? You can come here to the inspector and say, set my HP and give me the array. What have I done here? What have I done? Oh, I didn't make a list here. Oh, list dot object 3D. Okay, this is a props list of object 3D. Yes. Okay, and now we have. Oh, I didn't save. Now we have a list. Perfect. There we go. So now we can add our waypoints here. Let's add our waypoints. Okay, let's add our waypoints. Okay, let's add them. How many are we? 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So let's add the first one. All right, we have. Are they in order? They are in order. Okay, yes. Perfect, amazing, fantastic, beautiful, magnificent. Okay, so we're just going to add them like this. Okay, waypoint. Waypoint. Why am I using this horrible trackpad if I have a mouse right here? I never learn. I never learn. I never learn. I never learn. Okay. Okay. 20 HP. And now, well, I realized something now, right? We may at the beginning, we may want to have here, right? For debugging purposes, we're going to grab current HP. We're going to put it here, right? We're just going to set it like this, okay? Just going to do this. There. So that we can see it. We can debug the current HP. Okay, when for the proper game, you know, when we have the game, we may just remove this and we'll have the HP somewhere else, but we can leave it there. I mean, it doesn't affect anyone. It may be bothering, it may bother us later if you know, when we already know that it works, and you know, and we have a display in front of us, right, saying how much HP we have. So, you know, yeah, it won't be much use for it, right? But yeah, so okay, we have the waypoints here. We have our HP, and now we need to get our minions to move around here. So we're gonna create a minion. Okay, we're gonna create a little minion here. We're gonna create a minion. Will be a little box. Will it be a box? Should they be boxes? Or should they be, what should they be? Should they be boxes? Are minions boxes? Or are minions spheres? What are they? What are they? Who are the minions? Where do they come from? What do they eat? Okay, let's bring them here. Okay, let's bring this thing here. Okay. We know that forward is here. Okay. Just gonna use the box for now. Should this be a kinematic character controller actually, right? Perhaps that could be a use for this. Since we're using Rapier, we could make them kinematic character controller. But that would be interesting. It depends on if we want to shoot this thing from some, right? If we want to shoot raycast to it, for instance, right? We just want to hit scan it, right? Just throw a little particle there, shooting it for certain tower. That's okay. That works. We could always use a raycast for that. But if we want to, say, do something like, well, they won't jump. They won't be jumping. They won't be doing anything interesting like that. They won't be doing, yeah, I don't think they will be doing anything as interesting. Sorry. That will make them need an actual rigid body. This is an important decision, but you know what? We can make the decision later anyway. We don't really care much about this, okay? It's fine. It's totally fine. We can have this, which we're just gonna add this group inside here. We're just gonna bring it out of the box, and now we're gonna bring the box. Sorry, first things first. We bring the group down. Let's bring the group. No, it's okay. That was okay. Let's just bring it down like that. Okay, and now we bring the box into the group. That way we can control it from the ground. Okay, that works. That's good. That's nice. That's fine. So we can have this be at 1, and we can have this be 2 inside, something like that. Okay, and it'll be walking right on top of the land here, there. Okay, we want to know that this thing is facing somewhere, right? We want to know that it's actually moving forward. So we're going to add a little sphere here right in front. Okay, we're just gonna add a sphere here. Okay, we're just gonna put a sphere right there, right? We're just gonna say that this sphere is, how big do we want this sphere to be? We want it to be 0.5. 0.5. Yeah, something like that. Okay, it's gonna be like a little foot there or something. Okay, so that we know it's a, why did I even do that? Why did I even do that? What? Do I even have a soul? What have I done? Let's put it, you know what? Let's put like a little head there. Yeah, that makes more sense, right? Having a little foot, have a little head there. Okay, yes, they look, it looks horrible. Looks like you would expect. Looks like you would expect, right? Looks disgusting. Okay, yeah, perfect, perfect. It looks like an enemy. It looks like something you want to punch, right? Don't you want to punch him? Don't you want to punch him? Look at that. Look at that. You want to punch him in the face. Look at that. Yeah. So we're gonna use that. We're just gonna use this. This is our enemy. This is our enemy. Let's call it minion. We call it enemy. Enemy. Because it's the enemy. It's the enemy. This is the enemy. Yeah. The enemy. And we're gonna give it the minion thing. Yeah. This is you now. This is you now, my friend. And yeah, I think this is it for now. Okay. So now we need to tell the minion where to move. We need to tell the minion where to move. So the minion, what will it do? When it awakes, here we go. There's the minion. Okay, so when the minion awakes, let me look at the chat first. Let me see the chat in case anyone's here and saying something, because I haven't been. Capsules. Ah, you already said capsules there and I wasn't listening. You were probably right. You know what? Capsules will look pretty. That's the thing. Capsules will look nice because you have a good sense of aesthetics, because you're a designer. But I probably don't have as nice of a sense of aesthetics as you. So I chose a box to make our minion very ugly. I think it works to make our minion very ugly. That I have a very bad sense of everything there. So yeah, let me just quickly check on the monitor here. Let me check on everything. I'm, you know, make group, add a parenty, make it group, add parenty. Oh, I don't know. Oh, we have more people here on YouTube now. Beautiful, brilliant. Yeah, we have nobody on Twitch. Like, nobody's on Twitch. If you have a Twitch account, if you want to give me a follow there, I very much appreciate it. Yeah, Twitch is absolutely hate me. If YouTube hates me, Twitch absolutely deplores me. Twitch wants to see me dead. Yeah, Twitch wants to unalive me. Wants to see my live streams disappear from the face of the earth. That's what Twitch wants. That's what Twitch wants of me. All right, so we're getting back here. We're getting back to our script. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I know. There, 1. I keep pressing 2 whenever I want to go. Yeah. All right, so what did I do there? It's a symbol there. What's that? What's a symbol there? What's that? Okay. I don't even know how those symbols happened there. I've probably pressed anything and made those symbols appear. Okay. So what do we do here? Okay. We're going to do something here. In the awake, or in the start. Let's do start. I like start better because it's more consistent. Start will have all of our components. If we later on add anything else, like any kind of let's say physics or anything really, we want to have the start be the one telling, you know, what's happening when we begin, right? Because remember, the awake happens when it just awakes, right? And many of the components or the things or the properties of this object might not be there present. So we know that in general we want to start. So we'll say this, we'll say object 3D. This is the reference to the object 3D. Well, the minion is position, right? The minion component is position. And we want to say this is the object 3D, the position, and we want to say copy, right? Waypoints dot waypoints 0, okay, dot position. There we go. There we go. So we want to copy the position of the first waypoint. Okay, this needs to be a world position, and we know that in this case, we know the minions are always going to be positioned in the world, right? Or at least in world coordinates. So they are either part of a group, minions group that is positioned in 0, 0, 0, right? And they're being and you know, they just exist in that group. And then the waypoints as well, right? That this could be a good way to handle that. But yeah, we need to be careful with that. We need to be careful with positioning, because if something is not in world position, then we'll need to handle the obtaining the world position of it. Sorry, my throat starts going dry because I'm talking by myself here. Remember, I'm just talking to myself here. I'm just talking to myself in front of the camera, right? Simeon says, the box also makes sense. The most important is that functionable. The aesthetics can be added further. Very, very true. Very, very true. Also, because we have no idea what the aesthetics will be here. I still don't know what the theme will be. You know, I'm here ideas and everything, you know. Box should follow curve modifier. It will follow a path, basically slide the path from the birthplace till the tower. Yeah. I mean, oh, sorry, I just hit the, I've just hit the, I closed the thermos with the arm, with the microphone arm. Look at that. Now I need to open it up again. I'm in a constrained space here. You know, I'm actually in prison. I'm actually in prison. I get a permission to come out here and, oh my God, I keep hitting things. They're gonna kick me out of here. So okay, let's do this. Alrighty. Let's keep going with this. So position there. We have the position, and we're going to be facing that waypoint, right? So actually what we're going to say is we're going to grab this thing here. We're going to make it easier on ourselves. I'm going to say we're going to say this here. No, wait. Oh, this is a member of the class. That's just brilliant. That's just brilliant. Current waypoint. It's called current waypoint. I like this, but I don't know why I just call it current waypoint. It's better because it's just, you know, it's shorter. Let's just make it an object 3D 3, and we don't have 3 here. Okay, so we need to import O as 3 from 3, and we say 3 dot object 3D. There we go. This will be a current waypoint. This is the one we're facing. We will always have a current waypoint, right? This is like we will always have a current waypoint. The thing is, we also need a waypoint. Okay, I think we need a waypoint. And in fact, I think what we need is a current waypoint index. Okay, so this will be a number. Okay, so this will be, let's just make it 0, right? I'll make it get curve waypoint, right? And return this waypoint, curve waypoint index. So here we are returning, so curve waypoint is actually something we're just doing this every time. Okay, so now we can do curve waypoint like that, and it'll just do it for us. Okay, so starting from there, we know it's always going to be 0 there. Okay, that way we're okay. We know where it is, and we say just here curve waypoint dot position. Beautiful. Looks much better now, doesn't it? Solves a lot of problems. And we have to like add a lot of, you know, starters here for things, you know, and we just have these things that we can use all over our component here now. So what else, right? I'm going very slow because I'm just talking to you and thinking of ideas. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry I'm going so slow. It's what we get. Oh, we have a weirdo bot here. Okay, I've just booted the thing there. Bots we had on, I think it was on, let me check first, because we had this spammer bot on I think it was on Twitch. Yeah, let's remove it from here. I think it's already been removed, but I don't know. I don't even know how to remove something like that from Twitch. There's nobody on Twitch anyway. Honestly, there's nobody on Twitch. I know it's a few of us here on YouTube, but there's just a few of us, and there's just me. I think it's just me or someone else. If you're on Twitch and you want to say hello for Twitch. You know, say stand Twitch's ground, please. I think it's just me here, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. So let's get back to it. Let's get back to the game, to our game programming here, okay? Yeah, I keep doing this. I think it's whatever I'm doing here. Yeah, there's some kind of thing I'm pressing every time that keeps making a little face there. There, every time. I keep doing that. Okay, so let's what do we add here? Because I don't know what makes that thing there, right? What makes that thing appear there? I don't know if it's Alt 1. Maybe it's the Alt 1. Right, it's the Alt 1. Every time I press Alt 1, the thing appears there. Right. Right, yeah, that's what happens. Okay. We can keep going. Position. And so now, what else do we need to do? We need to face this thing. We need to face our next waypoint, right? Our next waypoint. Next waypoint. What is our current waypoint? Our current waypoint is the one we're going to, right? It's the one we're going towards, right? Right. That's true, right? That's true. So what we do is we instantiate ourselves in the first waypoint, and we immediately look at the next waypoint. So our current waypoint is 0 first, right? It's the first waypoint. And what we do is we say this current waypoint index will be plus equal 1, right? And we'll say so every time we set this now, we'll get the next waypoint, right? That's what happens here. And what we'll get here is now that we've added to the next waypoint, now we know we have the next waypoint. Now we have the waypoint on 1, right? So now we come here, object 3D position. Object 3D. Now we are facing the next waypoint, and we're just going to move with our own speed, right? So we're going to say, okay, this object 3D dot we need to rotate to the direction of the other waypoint, right? So here's when we do the weird math stuff that we need to figure out. Okay, so we're on a waypoint here. We say we are on a waypoint that has a certain position, and So we need to hold that waypoint in a point. We need to hold the position of that waypoint. Well, in fact, no, we just have our own position. And we don't need the position of the past waypoint. And now what we do is we decide, okay, if we are in this position right now, and we want to move to the next waypoint, where do we need to face? Okay, so now we've reached our waypoint, and now we need to face the next waypoint. So we have our vector for this waypoint, and we have the vector for the other waypoint. So we need to get the direction of these two waypoints. So sorry, we have the direction, the position that we're in, and the position of the other waypoint. So we need to subtract them, right? To get the direction. I'm sorry, I just broke my nail here. Oh, decide there. I don't know what. I think something's bit me there. Okay. What else here? Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have our own object 3D position that will subtract the waypoint, the curve waypoint, the position, right? Yeah, no, but we need to get the direction. We need to get the direction. So in order to get, we can't subtract from this, right? So we need to subtract from a vector there. We need a vector, some kind of vector that keeps the new direction, right? So we get new direction equals new 3 vector 3, okay? And we're gonna face that new direction. So we're gonna get this thing here, const. No, we're not gonna save anything from here. We're just gonna do this. We're just gonna say this new direction dot copy this object 3D the position, right? So we're gonna copy the position of our current object 3D, okay? This is because we don't want to modify the position, right? We don't want to subtract the current position or anything, or to the current waypoint or anything like that. We don't want to modify things that are already there in the scene, right? So we want to modify a vector that we can manipulate and get the direction from that vector. So we do this new direction. We subtract the current waypoint position, right? And this, I think this modifies, right, subtracts the v from this vector, right, from the current vector. So we will get with this, we will get, I think we can normalize this. I think this will give us the direction. I think this is the way you do it, yeah? Right? Please tell me if I'm doing it right. Or if I'm making a mistake. But I think this is the way you do it. And now you do normalize. I always have to check my vector math. I always have to check my vector math. I double check it every single time. Oh, sorry, you were talking to me here. What you were saying to me on it? Later, you can include an animated GLB model of a character walking. Yeah. Can match the footsteps. Computer slide. The slide, the speed, the lower already. Yeah. You can do. We can later on. We can do a lot of stuff with the say axis vector 3. Yeah, we can. Yeah, I think having it as a field is way more. It saves a lot more memory if you have it. It's best not to instantiate every time a new vector, like a new vector 3 every single time. Flow with sets object material flow update curve scene add flow object 3D. What is that flow? What is that flow thing? I don't know what flow is. All right, so okay, let's get our vector 3 is now normalized, so it's a direction, it's an actual direction that we can use, and we can say this dot object 3D that quaternion apply. I think how to say rotate. I think rotate towards. I think it had an interesting name to it. Set from axis angle, because I thought we needed a rotate towards the new quaternion. Yeah, but we don't need that, do we? Yeah, I think I got the wrong one from this. You know what's funny is that I do this every time, and I always go like, do I need to do it that way or this other way? And it's like, oh, I always go confused. I always end up doing it right eventually, but I always get confused with this stuff. So yeah, don't feel alone if you feel confused with this stuff, because I do every single time. Story of my life. But yeah, this will let us set it from a specific angle, right? So it will say, okay, what's the direction and what's the where to apply a certain angle, right? What's the rotation of the angle, right? What we did was we got a direction in which to look at something, right? In this case, we can't, the way we set the quaternion, the way we set the rotation to something, to look at something, right? It's not that exactly, right? So actually, here's the thing, right? I don't want it to be, I know we could do this with a lookat, okay? But here's the problem with the lookat, because some people are going to say, why don't you use the lookat, okay? But hear me out. The problem with the lookat is that the lookat will actually rotate the object, will look at it entirely, right? So if everything is 0, 0, 0, so right now it's all in 0, 0, 0, so it will work, right? I could do this, right? In fact, let's do it like that so that we can do the lookat. So, because here's the thing, I was thinking that if we do with the lookat, we would need to we cannot contemplate any sort of other positioning, right? If it's not on 0, 0, 0, we'll be looking at somewhere else, right? We'll have our object rotated in a wrong way, right? So I didn't want to do the lookat. But honestly, I may have been thinking too much into it, honestly, and this happens a lot, right? So probably just doing that, it's okay, you know. In this case, I think, you know, if you just look at the position, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. You know, nothing's going to happen to you. Nothing's going to happen. You're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. So we're going to use the lookat. Yeah. And so you're going to copy the position there. We're going to get a look at the next one. And yeah, we're just going to do that. We're just going to do that. We're not going to complicate ourselves too much. Okay. But we need to keep in mind that we may need to fix this. We may need to change this. I'm not a fan of the lookat. I'm not a fan of the. I think it works in many situations, but we're just looking at a map. Like, should we look at this waypoint? Like, what if the waypoint is a bit too tall? And in fact, I think our waypoints are not in 0. Let's look at. Oh no, they're in 0. Okay. Oh, thank God. I don't have to move them around. So yeah, I mean that should work. That should be okay. Think that our enemies are stepping on 0. So if our enemies are on 0, it's okay. But if our enemy, like say the enemy is coming from above or something like that, or the enemy moves or jumps or does anything, or just go, you know, that's not something I love a lot, right? So yeah, I'd rather use the vector math and just position the enemy, the you know, rotate towards that specific position, you know, that's it. But yeah, I don't know. Let's do it this way. Oh, sorry. We need the camera. We need to set up the camera. Let's set up the camera up here. Yeah, let's make it. Let's not make it 100%. Wait. Camera. Show me your there. There you go. Now we're gonna pull it up a bit like that. We're gonna look at the object from there. Okay. Now, when we start, it starts from back here, right? There you go. See, the lookout is already the other way. Why is it the other way like that? Oh, because this one's, well, the forward is, oh, it's looking at it from the other way. So, okay, let's, okay. Forgive me for I have sinned. Okay. So it's, the lookup thinks it's the other way for some reason. Okay, let's just say yes to the lookup. Okay, you're looking at it this way. All right. So it's on plus Z. And we're looking at plus Z from there. And we're looking at this waypoint. And you see, can you see it from there? Because I don't know if you can see it from there, that a little ball is there. Tell me if you didn't see the little ball there. As the null object is going to be a parent of an actual mesh we like to represent, so the null object is going to follow the path while the minion going to be attached to the null. To the null? We are parent of an, what's the null object? I know what the null object is. I don't know what's the null object, mate? Explain the null object to me, because I don't know what null object is there. Okay, so we're just going to be looking at the waypoint. I think you can see it from there, but yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you can see it or not. Yeah. You know I haven't prepared for this. You know I haven't prepared for this. I just came here actually to think the problem through with you. Yeah. Oh, no, I need to be more... Whoop, whoop. Yeah. There you go. You can see it there, right? You can see that the ball is looking that way. Okay, okay. All right. So we're looking at plus Z. I think that's okay. And now we need to set a speed. So we're going to set the speed of this object, of this minion. So we're going to say that re that we're going to say props num speed equals, I don't know, 10. Let's call it 10. And after we've instantiated and all that, we're just going to move forward. Just going to move forward. Just going to move towards the waypoint in the speed that we are moving, right? So we simply say object 3d.translate set this the speed by, and we need to multiply this by re runtime delta time. Right, we need to make sure that this is compliant with the time, right? Not the frame rate, but the time, okay? This is important. Always use the delta time to calculate the movements. All right, now we move, and there we are. There we have a moving minion. Look at that. And now we can, now we just need to decide on how we, now we just need to decide how, how we do things, right? Now we need to decide how we change the waypoint, right? Because we haven't done that. We just have told it, hey, move to the next waypoint. And now it's just going to keep moving somewhere, anywhere. Now we need to change the waypoint, right? Now we need to say, what's the next waypoint? It said the null object says make the sphere red color. It says null can be box used as a dummy. That's a good. Okay, so you say like null as in a placeholder object, like a dummy. But okay, I understand now. Okay, but the sphere red color, that's a great idea actually. Why am I using just a random color there, random nothingness there? Yeah, just make it sphere red there. That makes sense. That makes much sense, doesn't it? Yeah, we know we're moving that way. Such a simple solution there, right? Very simple, very good, very nice. Okay, let's save the scene. Let's not forget that, because, you know, we changed stuff. All right, okay. Beautiful, perfect, magnificent. Now we have this little thing working. let's change the waypoint. Okay, let's set a new waypoint. So if we arrive to the waypoint, we want to say that if we're actually say, I don't know, let's calculate the position of a waypoint. Say if this dot object 3D, the position distance to waypoint to curve waypoint, okay, dot position is greater than is smaller than 0.01. Okay, let's call it like that. Or say equals 0. That's the thing. I don't know if it's gonna get there, but let's try. Let's imagine that it's gonna make it there. It's exactly to that position, and it's gonna say, okay, I'm always weary of saying 0. You know, it's just saying, yeah, it's just gonna get exactly in that place. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want it to get out of the main line, right, of this center line. Okay, that's the thing. But we may need to sort of change it a little bit. Okay, it's just gonna be a little bit of a change. But yeah, we'll say that 0. We'll say 0, and if it reaches the line, if it reaches that place, then we say exactly this. Same thing here. So when you start copy pasting things, you know for a fact that you need to make it something else, because we are already copying ourselves here. You see? So there you go. Get next waypoint. I'll set let's call it next. Go to next waypoint. There you go. And we'll call it that. I like an action for a method. I like a method to be an action. I have that thing in me, you know. This go to next waypoint. And here we go. And this as well, again, this go to next waypoint. There you go. So now we have a clean little solution that goes to the next waypoint every time it moves there. Now let's see if we actually move to the next waypoint or not. It didn't go to the next waypoint, did it? And that's what I meant with the position, right? Because here's the thing. This is what happens. When you're moving here, okay, you may just go beyond that in the next frame. For a little bit, for a tiny little bit, you may just go beyond that. It's a tiny, tiny little bit. So you may need to say smaller than something to have some kind of margin, right? You decide what the margin is. You have to decide what the margin is. You know, that's a bit tricky, but you see how it moved. But actually, this happens a lot, right? This sort of thing sometimes is not exact. And you can either be very, very precise frame by frame what you're doing, or, you know, you can just decide by little fragments of, you know, margins. I think that's one way to do it. Is it the best way to do it? Is it the only way to do it? No, definitely not. I'm not saying, I'm not advocating for this way to do it, because this is the first time I'm thinking of this specific problem, right? So we may have to find another solution later, right? But this works. Let's look at the map from beyond, right? From another perspective, right? Let's look at the map from a perspective where we can see more waypoints, okay? And we can see them moving around, so that we know that it works fine for every waypoint, okay? So we're going to see a little thing here moving around. There, we see it moving to the next waypoint. See, it didn't work now because it moved beyond what we set here to be. So we know that this solution is not good. We know that this solution is not good because it's not very consistent, is it? Like, we may just get something that is not, in fact, we say smaller equal, right? And that may be better, but it's still, right? It's not a good margin. It's not a good margin. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. So something that may work here, to be very precise thinking, is to actually move towards that position and stand still, and then move and rotate specifically, right? So what I mean, well, I'm just thinking inside my head and assuming many things. So here's the thing. I think what we need to do is, instead of just changing the position, we need to define, we arrive to that place, okay? We arrive to 0, 0, 0, and then we change, okay? So we're always at 0, 0, 0. I think that's the proper way to do it, right? Because the big issue here is that we don't know if we've gone beyond it. We never know if we've gone beyond it, because the distance is always going to be, the distance is a bad measurement for this, because the distance is always going to be, even if we go beyond it, right? If we just go close enough, but we just go beyond that, right? The distance is only going to tell us the same thing. Either we're outside of its pathway, right? If we just got past it, or if we haven't arrived yet. So it's not a good measurement. We need something that we can use, and that whenever we arrive to that waypoint, we can define the new waypoint and know for a fact that we are in that margin, right? We could just augment this. We could just make this 0.5, okay, like that, and it will probably work every time. But the more we add to that number, the less consistent this is going to be in the positioning of the enemy. You see, and it didn't work in this time. It didn't work. So how long until we break the game? How long until the next time we do something here, we break our solution and it doesn't work and we have a problem? So we need something more consistent, right? We need something more consistent, right? Think of this. Let's exaggerate. Let's use 0.2, okay? And to have something very exaggerated and see how it kind of goes. What are you doing here, right? Because, well, it's pretty much in line there, right? But I think it went a bit high there, for instance, right? It went. I think it just got the line a bit on the high side there. Oh, see, it went beyond the it went beyond the reach of the waypoints there, of the waypoints array. That's okay. That's okay. We were expecting that, because we had no limits to how many waypoints we could catch, right? We need to tell waypoints, okay, you can't give me a waypoint that is more than what we already have. But in fact, when we arrive to the last one, we have to score a point, right? So we will disappear actually before we do anything like that. Or at least we'll stop. We'll just won't be looking for a new waypoint. Okay. Let me see if there's anyone else in the chat. So I'm gonna drop by some cigarettes and we'll back soon, says Simeone. Good, mate. Good. Get a few cigarettes there. Okay. I guess the chat is not so active today. The chat is not so active today. Let's look at the monitor to make sure everything's looking good there. I know that I'm sorry. I keep adding these faces there because I'll too create that face. I know that my biggest issue here, I think, with these live streams is that I don't have a schedule. I don't have anything like that. I'm just coming in here with no previous announcement, other than 1 hour before. I said, I think I said 1 hour before, and the only people who know that I was going to be here today is the people who actually saw me say it at a 1 hour and a half live stream that I did, you know. So yeah, it's kind of a stretch to think that how many people would have seen it, when literally I don't think many people saw me saying that point, you know. So yeah, it's going to take time. It's going to take time to build this live stream things. If you're watching this later on and you want to join, you know, I will be announcing the live streams every time on my on Blue Sky, on X, right? Also, I know that these certain days are more complicated than others for this sort of thing. So yeah, I don't know if you want to join, you want to come here. If you're watching this afterwards and you want to come join me and have fun here and watching me struggle making a game, please come join me and we'll do something fun here, right? Okay, I think it's all good here. Yeah, I'm just watching. We are I think we're like 4 people. Wow, we're like 4 people on YouTube. That's amazing. Thank you for being there. Say hello if you're there. Say hello if you're there on Twitch. I don't think there's anyone there on Twitch, but yeah, okay. That's fine. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get more people coming in on Twitch at some point. Okay, let's get another one here. Throat's getting sore already. My nose is going red from the stupid light. Yeah. Okay. I think I feel fine now. Feel fine to keep going. All right. So we have a walking minion. Let's bring you back. Let's bring you back to my realm here. There you go. We have a walking minion. I'm gonna have to change the this shortcut because I'm creating faces and things. I need to definitely change the shortcut. Yeah. We have a walking minion, but we need a new way to find how we arrive to our little waypoint there. So I would say that the way to define this would be what's a good way to define this? What's a good way to say this minion should arrive to that specific place? Stand still. We could make the margin bigger. Definitely. We could exaggerate it, right? If you said 1 here, right? If you said it's a distance of 1, okay? Because we're moving smoothly here towards it, right? That's the thing. We could use a lerp to move towards that position, but I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the lerp. I'm not a fan of the interpolation in that way, right? We could interpolate towards that position, but yeah, it would have to be a proper lerp. It would have to be a proper interpolation. It couldn't be because the interpolation, what it does is it will slow down and then it will start moving towards. You know, it kind of slows down when it's reaching there, and then it kind of moves and knowing that it arrived, it takes a while to arrive to that place. It's not very precise. You need a very special kind of lerp, but precise. I don't remember the name of the lerp, but it's someone's there and wants to help me the name of the lerp. There's a specific interpolation that works with this, because the problem with interpolation is that the one that we have access here in the regular math libraries in general has this sort of springy problem that when you're getting close, right, it kind of starts going very slowly there, you know, but it never really reaches until very late, and then, you know, so you may see the minion go like very, very slow, and suddenly move again. It's like it stretches and it goes, you know, the speed stretches and shrinks. That's how it sort of seems to me, right? That's the description that I can think of to say. Yeah, how could we describe this? If we use this, like if we use it like this with a 1, right? I'm trying to think of a very exaggerated way so that you can see how bad of a solution that is, right? It's not a great solution. It's not a great solution. See how far up that goes, right? It's not great. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I think it's too far. Yeah. Yeah, okay. That's okay. I think it's okay. For now, this will do. Because at the speed we're going, it should work, okay? Because we won't be going that fast. Actually, that thing is going super fast. That thing is going so fast. It's like so fast. We'll probably want to go like, how fast? Probably going to make it like 3. Let's go 3. I don't know, like regularly. How fast do you really want a minion to go? Because the bigger problem, I think, that's how fast we probably should be going. Maybe, like maybe 4. 5 at most. Yeah, maybe half the speed of what we were going before. And this is a fast minion. This is a minion going very, very fast. And it's not too bad, really, because, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Mostly considering that, remember, this error we have in here is is simply because we're going beyond the array. So don't worry about that. But I think the issue here then is, we said a 5. The issue would be that we can't reach the enemy with the waypoint, right? With the change, with the shift in waypoint. But if we consider that sometimes we're also going to be even fighting an enemy, right? We're going to be fighting an enemy that is standing right there. So it makes sense that even if we added a collider, say if we used a collider solution, like we had like this little sensor there, like a wall, like a sensor, right? The moment we hit the sensor, we're moving the other way. That's where a sensor is very useful, right? If we hit the sensor, we're moving towards that direction, but we actually hit the sensor, we know we have to change. That's a good solution that we could apply later on. We don't really need that solution right now, and that's okay. That's totally fine. I would avoid doing that. I would avoid adding these things if we don't really need them, because then we just add up more complexity that we don't really need. So I like that we can just have this thing that walks to a certain direction. And it's already working in that sense, right? We're already scoring. We just don't have to score, right? We can decide. We can set the score now. We can decide that now. Okay, let's do that. So let's say that if we set the next waypoint, right? Because this is the important part there, right? We can define the next waypoint, but the last waypoint is the waypoint where we score, right? Wait, is it the last waypoint where we score? So it's the one that it's like beyond, like the last place where it moves, or do we see it moving after it's hit the waypoint? Something like, let's say that the waypoint, when we hit the waypoint, we score. Let's keep it simple, okay? And what we'll do is we simply disappear, and we will score. How's that look? So we will say score. Call it that. And how do we score? We need to tell game logic that we score. And game logic has a static property, and we could add more static properties to game logic and keep handling them that way. We could also get the game logic component and use the instance of the game logic component. Have them be an instance. Why not? We could have them be however we want. actually. But I kind of like the static property approach. I kind of like that. I don't know why. I'm a fan. I'm a big fan of static properties. I have a problem with that. I'm sorry. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with the singletons. That's what I call singletons. It's not a singleton really, but yeah, it's just having static properties to handle things as a source of truth, right? That it's there, and you don't need to like get a component. You don't really want it as a component. You want the sort of source of truth of it, So just having it there and it does the thing that you want it to do. I don't know. It's something nice about it, isn't it? I don't know. It's just easier, but let's think of a proper way of doing it. I know it's crazy, but follow me here, please. Okay. So we need to score, but first of all, we need to make sure that we never go beyond our current waypoint, right? So we should say that if there are no more waypoints, we should stop, right? Right? So if there are no more waypoints, let's at least stop. Start with that. Let's get there, because at least don't get the new waypoint. At least don't get the new waypoint, right? I think that's a good one. So we'll say simply that if this dot cur index is equal to this occur waypoints the length return. We could say that. We just say that. Okay, so we don't go to a next waypoint, so it just keeps moving in that direction. That's good, right? It just keeps moving in that direction, but it doesn't really choose a new waypoint. Right, so let's move it very fast, because we don't have time to waste here. And yeah, let's see. Oh no, it kept looking for something. It kept looking for something. What's it looking at? What's it looking for? All right, because it's an index. Yeah. Someone caught it. I know someone caught it and said, "Ah, you idiot! Oh, you idiot!" Someone caught it. Someone saw it, and we're like, "Ah, you got caught there, right? Yeah. Someone saw it and laughed at me. I know someone saw it and laughed at me. I know. At least I want to think someone saw it and laughed at me very hard, like say, "Ah, you stupid idiot." Okay. There we go. It worked. All right. So let's move fast for now, okay? Let's make it 10. Let's make it 15, because we wanted to move fast. We don't want to keep moving so slow, right? We don't want a very, very slow thing here, right? We want something that moves fast enough. Fast. Okay. Now, let's keep going with this. I'm saving. I keep saving. So we have moving minions that score. No, sorry, that reach a waypoint and they keep moving, right? We need them to score. So we need to define the way we score. Okay, so we don't have... Do we have any chats here? No, nobody's chatting. Nobody's saying anything in the chat. See, that's why you have to join this live stream, so we can have a conversation. Otherwise, I'm alone here. You see, I'm alone here. I'm alone. You see that? Come here, join the chat, join the conversation. All right. Yeah. Okay. So let's keep going with this thing. Yeah. What else do we do here? We need to score. Okay. So how do we score? We're going to... Oh, I'm sorry about that. We're going to... we're going to tell the game logic to remove a life point of this, right? One of these HP points. One of these current HP points. So in order to tell the game logic to apply that, we could create a static function that handles these things. And I think that's a sensible way of doing this. I'm a fan of these static. I confess that I'm a fan of these static functions things. But I know also that it's a problem, because now if we create a static method here that says, okay, change the HP, right? We will be changing it from we need to change it from the actual source. So it's perhaps better that we actually handle this with the game logic. Like in some cases, having a game logic static members, I've found it useful. But perhaps in this game, in this particular thing, we may want it to not be that. We may want it to just be a local object thing, right? An instance thing, sorry. So we're going to do a score here, right? Score method. We're going to say when we score, we know that we need to, how many points? We're just going to say, because we're going to ask it amount, sorry, number. I usually like to default it to 1, like that, you know, so we don't really need to pass how much, but yeah, we could say 1, we could say something like score 1. If we want to say more, we'll just pass in a number, but for now, scoring is 1. And we'll just say this the cur HP minus equals 1, right? But I actually like doing it this way. Math the max, and we say this cur HP minus equal amount or 0, right? So if we go beyond, if we go like lower than 0, it'll just be 0, right? We don't need to go beyond 0 right here. We don't want to have a -1, something like that, right? So we just simply set it this way. Okay, that works. So we have a score. Okay, and now we have a way to score a certain amount. Okay, now we're going to tell, you see, we can do this because this is a local property. If we did this as a static method, this will happen, right? And we need to get the component, we need to get the actual component from here, right? And that's not great. That's not great. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to be going about handling the static versus the instance thing. You know, you don't want that. So let's just handle it this way. Let's just make it easy on everyone. And because the alternative to that, just to be clear, the alternative to that would be to have something like instance, right? You have like a static instance, something like that. Or it's called a static GL equals, you know, something like that. And it's just to not call it instance and be having to write instance, you know, and say that this is the actual game logic, an instance of game logic, right? And then do this, right? GL equals this. No, sorry. Game logic GL equals this. That is one way to handle this. I mean, we could do it that way. It's I'm so tempted to do it that way. Oh, I'm so tempted to do it that way, but it's horrible to handle. It's horrible to handle, honestly. Like, oh. The compensation here is, here's the thing, right? If someone else is doing this and they know that we have like static stuff and we have That's the thing. What is static and what is part of the instance and what is part, that's when you have a problem. So having one single source of truth is the winner, always. And when you have multiple sources of truth, you have a problem. So here, the correct thing is to let us use the game logic instance every single time. So let's do that, okay? And let's always use the GL instance, the game logic instance for this, and not use the static properties. So this is wrong. We're not going to be using this. No. We're not going to be doing this. And we're always going to be using this, okay? We're always going to be using the game logic instance. So how are we going to do that? I'm sorry, my monitor is going to turn off. There, okay. There. We're going to just say game logic. We could do this. We could say game logic GL and have this be here. Okay, just do this. And then have this be GL.waypoints, right? This could be a way of doing this. This could be a way out of everything. But the proper way to handle this is to say GL, get GL, right? And say, phone keeps ringing, but my phone is there. My phone is the camera, actually. So my phone keeps ringing, but it's I'm not going to answer. Thank you very much. We could say this, get, no, whoa, what am I doing? Game logic dot get, right? And we'll get the game logic for it, right? So we'll be returning game logic dot get, and we'll get game logic component, the only game logic component that we have. This would be a way to do this. This would be our way out of everything, right? I think even the best way, because this will be getting it every single time, right? So the absolute best way of doing this would be game logic equals, no, so like game logic like that, okay? And then we come here to the awake, or let's do the awake, okay? And in the awake, to make sure it's before anything else, we say this game logic equals game logic dot get. We will do that, okay? And now we don't play around with weird ways of doing things, okay? We just do this game logic dot waypoints, and that's how we actually get our waypoints. This is how we should have done it from the very beginning. This is how we should have done it from the very beginning. We should have just simply got our game logic from there, and that was it. No, we decided we're going to be weird. We're going to be weird and do weird shit. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. Don't do that. Okay. So what else are we going to do here now? Okay, we're going to, so if we need to score, we're simply going to grab this thing, and we're going to say that if we hit, yeah, we're going to try and define what happens when we hit the last waypoint, right? What happens when we hit the last waypoint? So if we don't have a new waypoint to go to, so perhaps before going to the next waypoint, so this thing will be unnecessary, right? This thing will be unnecessary. We will say that if we have arrived, right, and this thing is happening, right? We could leave this here just for safety, so that we'll simply not be going beyond this. But I don't know. Let's remove it. Let's remove it. Let's remove it. I don't like it. I don't like having a line of code that I'm not ever gonna touch. Yeah. So we're just gonna say that. What are we going to say? We're going to say First of all, we know that we want to return here. We know that we want to return here. We know that we don't want to keep going. We don't want to keep going because if it comes here, we're gonna break because we didn't remove this. Remember, it's safe, but I just forgive me for I have sinned. Yes, I know. Sorry, I'm very sorry. This is the game logic dot score. Okay, this is the score. So if we want later on, we can say how much is it worth. If we want to say, okay, this minion is worth 3, and we could add a a score here, or amount. Let's do that. Say value. Say 1. So the value of this minion is 1. Okay, so this value. Okay, it's worth 1. All right. So we're going to look at our game logic here. Let's see if it actually does anything. If it takes our life there, if it dies or something, or whatever it does. Whoa! Ah, right. Yes. See how it went from that to 12? It's because it spent a long time here with the being less than this, right? So what we need to do here is say object 3d dot parent dot remove this object 3d. So we're going to remove it from the parent, and this is going to do the whole thing to wipe it from the face of the earth. I think it's still not going to work though. It might not work yet. Let's test it. Let's heavy test it though. There, it worked. I don't like it. So you see how the minion disappeared, right? You see how the minion disappeared. So it disappeared with your eyes. When it went off. That's okay. Let's make it. What if we make it slower at the very end there, right? What if we make it slower at the very end? Will it still the same thing? Like, what if we make it very slow at the very end there? We'll make it very slow. Let's still keep going a bit more. Will it do something wrong now? It's okay, it's fine. It's fine. I thought it may just be a glitch of frame fighting there, but no, it's okay. So it instantly dies. Boom, dead. So no more frames for you. No more frames for you. You're dead. That 1 frame. Perfect. So it works. It works fine. It works perfectly. Now we have minions that walk, go to a certain place. They take life from you, right? They walk a certain path, right? We just made 1 path, right? We just know 1 path. We don't know which path it is. We just know that we have waypoints. And we take the next one and just go to the next waypoint. And we know that if it's the last, we want to score. And we decided how to score. And we also had a whole thing about, is this a local instance thing? Is this a static thing? We have an object that is a source of truth. And we have this whole discussion, this very philosophical discussion about logic and construction and then the architecture. This whole thing. So yeah, we scored a point. What do you say? It's nice, right? That's nice. It's pretty cool, right? That's pretty nice. We got ourselves, I think it also looks nice, doesn't it? All around we have this thing here that it's not doing anything, so we're just gonna remove it because it's not doing anything right now. We'll probably need to do something later on, but yeah, not now. We may have to do some modifications to this when we finally go to get to a place where we have to fight an enemy. So we need to, like, say here, perhaps the new waypoint. That'll be the thing, right? We may need to say if we have an enemy, right? If we have like a target, we go for that target and not the waypoint. Okay, so priority is target, right? So we go for, if there's a target, we use the target. if there's no target, waypoint. See, that's a good way of doing that, I think. I don't know. Yeah, I think I like that. But we have a first mechanic here. The most basic mechanic of a tower defense, of this kind of tower defense game. It is, right? Oh, we have Arya here. Well, wait. Let me go up. Let me go up in the comments there. Here, some people have been talking about here, and I haven't been looking at the chat because nobody was here watching. So, I thought nobody was talking. So, but Nige said nice things here. So, Nige said, if it's any consolation, Twitch hates me too. I can't remember my username, but it's not sending me my login details. Ooh. Yeah, man, you need to send them an email or something. Let's see, go and do something like that. Yeah. The minion is apparently, Simeon says, the minion is apparently so angry, where his face got red, smoke coming out. Oh yes. Oh, his ears is the only thing missing. Yeah, probably we need some more. It's a lot missing. There's a lot missing in it. It just looks bad right now. Oh, that's before the smoke. But yeah, trigger area. If object 3D intersects area, collision of tower, game over. Yeah, it could be collision of a tower. It could be. I mean, it's reaching a waypoint. I think we have the same sort of logic. We could be like attacking a tower, and take points out of it, like take the life out of the tower every time you attack it, right? But we're just using the simplest solution right now, right? But that's a good idea to have like a target you hit, right? I've seen some tower defense doing that, right? Like the minions going to a place and attacking instead of just crossing a line. And in this case, it's the kind of throne rush sort of mechanic, right? Simplest one, I think. We don't have cannon to score initially. Yeah. I would say we must let minions win first by intersecting a tower and then start looking the way how one actually can prevent the minion from reaching the tower intersection. It's exactly, yes. So first we hit, we score, and then we look for how do we make this in a way that we score and so we prevent the enemy to score, right? And we stand through the waves. So Nige says, got to go, mate. I'll catch you up in the stream tomorrow. Thank you for joining us, Nige. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll assume that you hit the like button. I will assume that you did that. I'm gonna thank you for it. Right? Preemptively thank you for it. And if anyone else out there is enjoying seeing me struggle with this stuff here, hit that like button. Thank you very much. And Arya is here. Thank you very much for joining us, Arya. It's nice to see you here. Thank you. I think it's the first time in joining to our live streams here. It's very nice to see you. And Simeon says, when game over background appears, writes tower have fallen and apply dramatic music event. yeah, we'll add more stuff here, right? You have say you have some noise parasites. Check my cable. Noise parasites. Really? Yeah. Okay, who knows? Maybe I was going too close like that. Maybe I was like getting too close to the microphone and it was going. But yeah, I don't know. Let's hope it doesn't create any problem. Also, my phone vibrated there, so probably heard like, the whole computer vibrates because it's right on top of the computer. It's my phone that is my camera. It's my phone that is my camera because the camera of the computer sucks. It's really, really bad. So I'm using my phone as a camera, as a webcam. It's crazy, right? So, okay. I think we have kind of a nice mechanic here, a nice going, a nice thing, don't we? Let me look at the monitor here and monitor the live stream to know how we're doing, what we're doing, to know that everything's doing fine. We're doing okay. Let me see. Yeah, we're okay. We're more or less the same amount of people and stuff. Yeah, I think we're fine. We're gonna be okay because next time, I think more people are gonna find out. I'm gonna try to tell people about the live stream way ahead in time. I didn't this time. I didn't tell people about the live stream ahead in time. I didn't last time either. I think I went like 1 hour before it happened. I think that's way too impromptu, and people just don't know that you're live streaming. So because it's a new live stream, so unless people find out, because just find out, it's looking suddenly and notification from YouTube, this guy's coming out live, and you happen to be subscribed, and I don't have that many subscribers. So yeah, I think I have 900 subscribers, something like that, and it's not that many, 900 or something. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, help me out. And give me a like, please give me a like, hit the like button there, help me out with the fighting this algorithm. And so yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do too much tonight though, too much more tonight. I think we have scored. We have scored. We decided on the value and the speed of the of each minion. We have decided the what happens when we reach a waypoint, how we go to a new waypoint, and how when we reach the last one we score. That then dynamic is what I mean, right? It's not that we have defined the whole dynamic of the game, basically, of whole dynamic of the most basic and pure dynamic of the game is resolved there, and that's a good thing. I believe. Yeah, I like that. I think we're okay. For today. I was thinking before. I thought we could add something else, but I don't know. I don't think we have much time to go into too deep into anything else tonight. We're using the waypoints here. Yeah, so we changed the whole approach to using the instance variable there, which is okay, which is totally fine. What else did we do? What else can we do then? We just move forward. We did that. I know what's one thing we could do that is fairly simple that we could add it now. We could add the spawn mechanics, right? We could say, okay, we could define waves. Okay, we could at least think of it. Like we said at the very beginning, we said we were going to have waves of minions. Each wave is going to have a certain amount of minions, maybe some kind of score or something like that, right? A score of some kind. So we need a way for the game logic to tell us, to define which minions is it going to spawn, right? So it needs to know that it's okay, this wave will come with this many minions, right? So we need to define waves, okay? And that's how the game logic gets those waves and then goes through them and simply instantiates those minions and that time, right? And that time and place. So let's think of that for a second. A minion wave. How do we define a minion wave? How do we think of minion waves? We could have let's think of it this way. We could have all of our minions in a list here, right? Define the minions that we're gonna get, and like at least get the first working solution by simply creating a wave, right? Like a next wave, and simply instantiate that wave. And so now, that way we know what the next wave is, and we have a way to monitor the next wave. So we start there. We start at the very end of the thread, right? We start at the very end of the thread. The very end of the thread is we need a wave that we can monitor, that we know how many minions it has, which minions it has, and we can have we can decide later on how we define what that wave looks like, right? Which minions are in that wave. That sounds okay, right? That sounds okay. That's okay. That's good, right? So let's do that. Let's define simply our next wave, right? So that will be same as this, right? Same as this. It's a list of props. No, this would be a list of in this case prefabs, right? A list of prefabs that will have next wave, okay? And the next wave will have us with what? No, array of prefab, a list of prefabs, okay? An array of prefabs. That's what we want here now, okay? So what do we do with this? What do we do with this? We need to say that whatever elements we get here, okay, we need an order in which we spawn this wave, right? In which we bring these enemies forward, right? The next wave, or we could say the current wave. Let's call it curve wave. Let's call it curve wave. And what it will do is, what the game logic should do here is it's aside first we need some kind of gap, like some kind of gap, or some kind of timing, like how much time do we wait in between instantiating each one of them. So the gap could be in time, right, in the form of time, or in the form of distance. I think the form of distance I don't like that much, because it means that we have to go and look for the minion itself, what's the last minion, right? And we need to keep like a reference and say, okay, how far is it? Now we instantiate the next, and we need a reference to the last. Why? We don't need a reference to a minion. What if it dies? Then what do we do now? So no, I don't like that. But I do like a time thing. Like, okay, let's instantiate it as time goes by. Okay, so let's give it a time gap in between each other. Okay, let's see what chat's saying, right? Chat, what whoa, Simeone said a lot of things. Let's wait. What did Simeone said? Now birthplace, and on the half of a wave generate new minion, and then multiply iteration of the previous one. Generate twins. You have twin library. Yeah, but we don't really need twins for this. We don't really need a twin for this. No, there's no need for a twin for this. We could just calculate time. We could just say time passes by. I mean, the least amount of dependencies you can get. I mean, we could just say, okay, we have 0.1 seconds passed. Then let's use that, right? I mean, I think it makes sense, right? Instantiate something every X seconds. I think it's a sensible way to handle it. I don't know. I may be crazy. like, but I think that's the way to handle it. I think the best way. I think it's the best possible way to handle it. I don't know. Let's say array props num. Let's call it spawn rate. Call it, okay. Let's say how many milliseconds? Seconds. Say let's say they spawn every 500 milliseconds. Let's use milliseconds. I like milliseconds. I think milliseconds are okay. So we say okay. We say that update. Good update. I don't like the void here. I don't like the void. So we say that if yeah, we can say curve. We need some kind of rate reference, right? So we need a spawn time equals 0, right? So we say that, and we go every time we spawn a character, right? So it's 0 if spawn time is smaller equal to 0. No, what did I say? What did I say? It's smaller equal to this the spawn rate, right? And I'm not a fan of that either, because I much better like the greater equal solution, right? This is going to be a problem. Being smaller equal is going to be a problem. So now let's not do this. Let's not do this. Let's just define how we spawn these things, okay? Let's define how we don't spawn them. So we say this. Let's go the other route, okay? The spawn time is it's greater equal to this the spawn rate. So let's go the other way around, right? We say that if it's greater equal, we can spawn now, right? So we can spawn the first one. Yeah, I was going to create trouble with that, right? I was going to create trouble. I was going to go like the other way. What was I doing? I'm already going tired and already doing more mistakes than I was doing before. Even more. How can that be? And so many more. Yeah, my approach was going to be where we increase time, but it should just be okay. We do this now and then we increase the time, right? We increase the time if we're not here, right? So here we will set it to 0, you know, and then we'll keep increasing time outside of this, right? Outside of the. So we'll say simply, right? So here we do spawn time equals 0, right? And the first thing we need to do to make sure that we don't keep going, right? And the one thing we'll do here then is spawn the little enemy, right? So we'll go through the current one. We need some kind of reference to which one we have spawned. So we have it in an order, like the wave has a certain order, right? So we have to define which one we have already spawned. So we will need sort of a instances, like an array of instances or something, or we should simply know the current wave. Because okay, my head is thinking of something and I'm not pressing it, so I know that. Yeah, it may sound weird. Okay, so I need to be more articulate. I need to articulate the things I'm thinking. I need to learn to do that. So what I'm thinking is that if we have 2 waves going on at the same time, we already should in the next wave, right? We'll show everything, so we need to make sure that we don't step on another wave, right? So every time we set a new wave, if we have another property or something that has a reference of all the elements in the wave, right, and we're trusting that as how many elements have we already brought into the scene, we'll have a problem. So one thing we could do is we simply hold an integer, and we know what the next one is, because we don't really need a reference to the instance. What we really need to know is how many have we instantiated to know which one is next. So we'll simply say cur wave index. We'll call it that. Okay, we'll call it that. We'll say 0. And we'll say, right, that if time is 0, we'll go this. Well, if we have gone past the time of the wave, we'll say this dot curve wave index. Well, yeah, curve wave index. No, this is if the wind. No, we need to set it to 0 if we have done the whole wave, right? So that's the thing, right? So we say if. I will do that later. We'll do that later. For now, we need to set. We'll try to spawn whatever we have here. So we say that this curve wave, this the curve wave index, okay, instantiate. Okay, there we go. So instantiating our minion. We're instantiating our minion, and our minion handles its own position, everything. So we don't need to worry about our minion. We don't need to worry and do anything to it. We just instantiate it, and the minion knows, okay, here's what it needs to be. Perfect, right? That works. That works. That's good, right? And yeah, what else? That's good, because we don't want to actually import the minion here. We don't want to do that. We just wanted to know, okay, this is just get the wave and do your thing. And what else do we need here? And we also now need to tell the to go to the next wave, right? So, yeah, so now we need to say this the curve wave index plus equal 1, plus equal 1. Yeah. So now we know we need to go to the next one in the wave. So next time we go to the next one in the wave. But this will be and, okay, so the spawn time is greater or equal than spawn rate and very important, we have and curve wave index, right, is smaller than this. Yeah, it's smaller than this dot curve wave length -1. Let's say that. Okay, looks good, right? I like that. Okay with that. I'm okay with that. It's good. That's good. So if it's smaller, well, if it's smaller equal, well, no, if it's smaller, because we actually wanted to say, okay, if it's smaller, yeah, it's okay. I think brain explosion. Brain not working. So we've turned the enemy into a prefab. First thing we do, right? Turn the enemy into a prefab. If you're already here, if you're still here, thank you. Thank you for being here. Sorry, I forgot about something. We need to spawn time plus equals re.runtime.delta time. There you go. If we don't add up to the spawn time, we have nothing to do, right? There's nothing happening. Nothing going on. Nothing. So now we come here and yeah, I think that's it. In fact, you know what? I like this. This is going to be adding up every time. We need a way to handle what the new wave is, because this is just going to be adding up every time, right? So we need to know if we have a new wave, right? So we sort of also need to say this. For now, we're just going to add this. yeah, we're just gonna say because yeah, I think I made a mistake here. Yeah, I think I made a mistake here. I think what I should do here is simply say, yeah, this is all we're really going to do. So we're just gonna say that if our curve wave index, right, is smaller, no, it's greater. I want to return here. I want a return condition here. I want a return condition. I want to say I don't want to update. I don't want to update. So how do I say I don't want to update? I say that if the current wave index is greater equal than the current wavelength minus 1. So we say return. Yeah, I think that is it. I think that's it. I'm not even thinking right now. I'm just autopilot. I'm autopilot right now. My brain is not working well now. Okay, so let's go with this. Let's go with this. I don't care anymore. Let's go. Boop. Whoa, I broke something. Okay, I just did something wrong. I think I broke something. Did I break something? Yeah, I broke something. Okay. But don't worry about that. It's all good. It's all good. No problems. Okay. Let's come to the main thing here. I'm sorry I haven't read the chat for a while now. Forgive me, but yeah. Just gonna add another enemy here. Let's go with that. Okay. And let's do that. Yeah, let's look at it. Let's see if it's working or not. Okay, it's not working. It's not working. It's not doing it. Why isn't it doing it? Why isn't it doing it? It's not spawning them. Because the curve wave index is curve wave length. How we spawn them? We are not spawning. We're not instantiating them, and spawn time has to be greater than the spawn rate. To call it 0 again, and we instantiate. We don't have a. Yeah, current index is 0. Length. If length is 2, and we have a length of 2, and we have 0 and 1 here, right? So we should have let's look at chat. So we get oh, okay, chat's not saying anything. Thank you very much. Give the like button, please, for my struggles. Please, just help me out there. Help me out. Motivate me. Cheer me up. I need some cheering there. Even if you're laughing at me right now, just cheer me up. Come have fun with me. All right. So, why isn't this working? Why am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? So, we're adding to the spawn rate. Are we adding to spawn rate? No, we're adding to spawn time. Right, we add to spawn time. We add to spawn time. We say that if it's greater equal than spawn rate. So what we're going to do is we're going to first of all monitor spawn time. I think that's a sensible thing to do. Okay, yeah. Okay, we see the problem now, right? This is not milliseconds. This is seconds. This is seconds. Look at me right now. I'm dead. Okay, so it spawned the first one, and it said, no more for you. Oh, wait, did it spawn 2? No, it spawned 1. I thought maybe it had spawned 2 in the same place or something, but no, it spawned 1. Only spawned 1. Why did it only spawn 1? We made a mistake here. Oh, obviously made a mistake here, right? We're gonna do this just because it's breaking it. I'm not even thinking right now. Yeah, that's what happened. I knew I made a mistake there. My brain wasn't working. I made a mistake there. I know I made a mistake there. I knew it. It's just, it's just, I broke something. But now we have a mechanic that works, and yeah, it just spawns the enemies in the wave that we have. What we need later is a definition of how a wave looks like, right? How do we define a wave? That's the thing, right? How do we define a wave? So that's the next thing we're going to look at. That's the next thing we're going to do, but we're going to do it tomorrow. We're not going to do it tonight. It's too much for tonight. It's too much for tonight. Too much pressure. Too many things. Too many. I'm still new to this, just streaming while I code, while I do these things. So I need my time. I need my time to adapt. So you'll understand. You know this. You understand. Yes, I need my time to reflect on my learnings of today, on my mistakes of today, on the things we have done, on great progress that we have done. I think we've done some good progress. I think we did some really nice, really cool progress. I mean, all in all, with all the problems we had, all the errors that I introduced, and all the problems that I introduced, obviously human problems, I think we had in a few hours we made very simple mechanics. We talked about them. We have plans for the future. We have this interesting thing that spawns minions and scores, right? We lose HP points, and we also have a system that's it spawns them. They manage themselves. They know where to spawn. They know how to move. They know how to score, right? The game logic scores itself, right? So I think we have a pretty nice system, and all in all, right? I mean, just look at it. I think it's nice, right? It's a nice system. It's a small, nice system, right? That does what we needed to do. We have a minion, and we have a game logic. It's pretty simple, very nice, and yeah, and it's usable for anyone, really. I think kind of a little template of what minions moving around a map with waypoints looks like. And if you think about it, a waypoint can be dynamic, right? And you could define what a waypoint looks like, right? You could define that a waypoint. You could define waypoint as the next move as part of a search algorithm, right? That you did or probably did, looking around and knowing how to move to a certain place, right? So you can define your waypoints with an A star, for instance, right? So you could actually turn that into a very dynamic and powerful thing if you wanted, right? This could be a minion that actually has a very complex a more complex sort of minion, right? That is not this simple like this, right? But it gives you the template to work around these ideas. This gives you the template to sort of think about, okay, what do I want to do next? What if having this thing here, right? If you want to do a sort of MOBA style game where you have minions that you fight, right? And things like that, and maybe your minions have a special waypoint that they follow. Maybe they are following you, and they need to actually follow you to a certain place. And avoid obstacles and all that. You need a certain like an A star or something like that, an algorithm that actually looks for you. You could use this. You could use this and simply create waypoints based on that algorithm. So that's the goal of this, to give you a template to work around certain things, certain problems, to also show you my how I work through these issues, right? It's not that I just wake up one day and say, yeah, I'm gonna make a game, sit down and know exactly how it's going to happen. No, I'm actually thinking about these things, and I like the fact that you can be a witness to my thought process here, because I don't know, I think unless you've actually seen other people coding these sort of things before, right? Mostly if you're new to this, you may feel like, okay, I can't do this because okay, I should know how to do this or something like that. But no, even I mean, I've done these things multiple times. And I keep making mistakes. I keep doing things wrong, and I keep forgetting about things. I keep forgetting about how to do vector math. I keep forgetting about these so many things. I just need to look for them every time, and I just go like, yeah, okay, next time I do it, I'll remember it, and then I just don't remember it because I haven't done it in like, I don't know, 2 weeks, and I've done a thousand different things in those 2 weeks, and then these things happen. So it's good that you can see them happening and that you can see the whole thought process about creating an architecture that we can work with to create a game, right? To create something, and you have a template that you can use to do multiple things. Yes, I think this is a good thing. I like what we have right now. I think it's cool that we can keep building on this. We can keep building on this little game that we have. This little, I mean, it's a very simple template, right? It's a very, like, what we have now. It's I mean, right? It's so simple, right? So simple, but it's cool, right? It's cool. I mean, we have our little enemies there. We have our little minions going in and changing positions and going and scoring points and killing us, right? Look, we have 18 points alive. That's very nice, right? And yeah, and we can keep adding waves, right? Add all the waves that we want and selecting wave and all that. We can define waves as a JSON file with selecting, okay, what kind of waves of enemies do we want? It's sort of a configuration file with waves. Yeah, so many different options. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you find some value out of this that we've done tonight. I'll keep coming in. I may do one tomorrow, depending on how I feel. I also need to. I want to grab some of the clips from the previous one, from the one we did yesterday. I'm grabbing one of those clips and doing like a little clip taking what we did with the thing that Nige asked, and picking objects in the scene and try to do an actual video out of it, so that we can get more value also out of these live streams, because just watching a whole live stream to learn something, sometimes we can condense some of the knowledge of the live stream into one single video. That would be very useful. So yeah, I think that's good. I think we're fine for tonight. Oh, I keep hitting the microphone. Yeah, right. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for being there. And I think it's I think this is nice. I don't know. I'm enjoying it, even though it's I'm still feeling insecure about doing this. This is not something I'm used to at all. Just being here, just talking to a camera by myself, and it's weird. It's really weird. I don't know. Someone who might have done it before may be able to tell me how weird it feels. It feels super weird to me. Let's look at the chat before I go. Just once. Let me see. We have Simeone here. It's very active. Simeone is so active, mate. Let's look at the what's Simeone saying here. You have twin level. Yeah, generate 1 minion every 0.5 second. Yes, that's what we're doing. And generate a group of minions every time. Adding one more minion to the previous one. Also, randomizer can help make it more interesting. But if the nerve spline curve would be visible and could have actually handles where you could bend it the way you like it and then build brushes around it, with very handy. Build brushes around it. Yeah, I mean, why not? Yeah, I mean, it could be one of them. But I mean, that's the thing. Do you need that really? I mean, will you spend that effort to build that if you can just have an object that is, okay, this is the place you move now? I mean, of course, would it be handy? Yes, but you're going to actually touch that once. You're actually going to touch that once. Also, think of this. We have done this with the most basics of things. We don't have like this structure of curve or something like that. It's not a curve. It's not anything complex at all. It's not a UI that we need to do anything with other than, no, we just here with the things that we use every single time, and yeah, and it works. And I think it's cool. I think it's nice. I think it's nice to have these simple solutions, right? I'm always more a fan of a simple solution. If a simple solution resolves it, then perhaps we're okay with it, right? Perhaps that's fine. Doesn't really need to be more complex than this. It's okay to have, yes, of course, like more complex solution. We can add those, right? But we don't have them right now. So how do we solve them? Because we will need to create a specific solution for that. So let's think of the problem at hand right now. The problem at hand is we need a game that if we start building the other thing, we'll build the curve with the lines and all those things. We'll start building that instead of building the game. So let's build a game. Let's build a nice mechanic, and we can really manage with these waypoints. It's very simple, very, very simple, very nice. It's nice to handle because you can see the waypoints there, and it's easy to handle. It's I think for our purposes right now, just having the waypoints there. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's very, very simple. I think it's very handy, and and we add them here in the order that we want. And we can even give them names, different names, and just add them there. That also works. I think it's good. And otherwise it would have to be like specific object that has different nodes, right? It would be a different solution. It wouldn't be exactly this, right? We would need a very specific thing made for this specifically, right? But yeah, you understand what I'm saying, right? But okay, I think we're good for tonight. What can we do tomorrow? I think tomorrow we can now that we have spawning minions, right? Spawning waves of minions. Probably tomorrow. If I come tomorrow, I may come tomorrow or Sunday. Surely coming back on Monday. Absolutely coming back on Monday. I may come back on Sunday. And I also may come back tomorrow, honestly. I'll try to schedule it beforehand, way beforehand, so that people can find out that I'm streaming, because I don't think anybody knows that I'm streaming. Very few people that knows that I'm streaming. But I want to get some clips out of this stream so that people find out, so, we need some stuff to let people know that we're streaming. So, I'll do that. And for the next one, we'll have a very nice thing. Oh, we have more chats here. Spline curve with handles, can actually serve a lot of ways, both on minions, cars, roads, and more plus when you dragging the handles to spline curve visible in the viewport. Then don't be hard on yourself. You are doing great. I like your videos are really, and you're coming up with smart solution. It's not easy, but making things. Thank you. Thanks to the way you think. Great job. Thank you very much, mate. With the Castle Tower. Yeah, it's a good thing for tomorrow. Thank you, mate. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the kind words. Yeah, I mean, the view, the curve thing. Yeah, it's very useful, definitely for roads, like to build roads and things like that. Like using as a tool to have like understand how the road is built and all that is very useful. Yeah, indeed. But yeah, it's not something that we have now. We have to build this specifically for this. And yeah, we could have it. I mean, we could add it later on. Yeah, this could be a project for something later. Sorry, my throat is getting sore. And but yeah, it's a good thing. We could have for next one. We could have we could have the build the first towers, and have them shoot the minions. And we can have the first towers. Like we need tower placing, and we need tower placing, and what else? Tower placing, and aiming, and shooting, right? So like a tower functionality. Yeah, that's why I wanted to. That's what I needed in my head to process in my head. tower placing and tower functionality. Why do I say tower functionality? Because towers will shoot, not necessarily. Towers may, well, yeah, yes and no. Well, I don't know. Towers not necessarily shoot. They have a functionality, right? Because maybe there's a tower that is like that tower, like I was talking about, the let's say the From Rush. I keep forgetting the name of the name. From Rush, Kingdom Rush. Those games where you have the tower that has like, it's like a little infantry thing, you know, and the little soldiers come out of the tower, you know, and you always have like 2 soldiers or 3 soldiers, and when you upgrade the tower you get better soldiers, right? You upgrade the tower, you get, you know, soldiers are stronger and all that. So I think in that case you won't be shooting, right? You always have 2, right? Or you always have 3, right? Something like that. So you are instantiating, so the behavior is different. So we need a tower behavior, not tower functionality, tower behavior, and tower placing. And the behavior could be aim and shoot, and the behavior could be instantiate, I don't know, some kind of thing in the middle there, you know, throw special power when you hit something, you know, we click on something. Yeah, different towers may have different things. Maybe they add up a different, maybe they add some kind of boost to you, I don't know, something like that. Simeon is saying curve is also not a solution for everything, every time for everything. Of course, if place is always uneven, enemies must have a logic to walk on different kind of surfaces, but that's later. I am only saying it's interesting. Yeah, of course. But yeah, let's think of that. Let's let that stay in our brains for a while. Okay, let's let that thought mature in our brains. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going now. I think this was my longest stream so far. This has been 3 hours. Wow, 3 hours, 7 minutes. This is so long. Thank you for staying here so long with me. Wow. Yeah, that's a long time to stream. I said I was going to do a long run. I didn't know I was going to stay here for like 3 hours and 7 minutes. This is so long. I could actually make it to 10 minutes. Nah, let's go now. Let's go now. This is too much. This is too much already. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. If you don't know that I'm streaming, if you don't know that I'm doing this often now. I'm going to keep doing this. I'm sorry I'm so annoying. I am very sorry that I'm annoying everyone right now with the streaming, but yeah, it's just coming out there, you know, it's there. So you have to find out that I'm doing it. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I'm bothering everyone saying, come join me, but I don't care. Just come and join, you know, just come and join. Yeah, I think if you like making games, if you like Three.js, you'll enjoy this live stream that I'm doing, and yeah, and you'll get some value out of it, and you'll get it instantly instead of getting it when I have the time to get the clips and actually create clips around it and all that. Yeah, that will take some time, but yeah, I hope. Tell your friends, tell everyone, go into social media, share it, please. Tell people to come and join, and the people who may enjoy this, please hit the like button, subscribe, follow me on Blue Sky. The links are there in the description. Follow me on Blue Sky and on X, wherever you're in. Subscribe to this. Follow me on Twitch. You'll find me there as well, as beardscript. And I didn't want to share that link here on YouTube because I thought YouTube is not gonna like it, so I didn't want to share the YouTube link on Twitch because I thought Twitch might not like it. So yeah, but yeah, thank you for joining me. See you next time. Bye bye.